America appears to be at risk for a digital doomsday. A cyber sleeper cell, or virus to be exact, has apparently infiltrated most United States infrastructure electronic systems. Quote, the Trojan horse bug lurks in vital U.S. computers since apparently 2011, posing a, quote, very serious threat to the power grids, the water distribution, filtration systems, nuclear power plants, public utilities, etc. Russia is being blamed for having spread the virus. What most Americans don't know is that the Stuxnet virus created by Israel and America, which essentially fried the Iranian nuclear power plant, has apparently went rogue and just infected other computer systems, including a Russian nuclear power plant. Well, the Russians can't be too happy about that. So they are being accused of having sent a virus, a sort of sleeper cell, in our computer systems for cyber espionage, which apparently they may threaten to activate, which would essentially cripple America's electronic infrastructure. If America steps out of line, steps on their toes one too many times. But this is just one of the digital disasters that potentially may strike America and other parts of the world. If you're not familiar with the solar flare threat, this is a very real possibility that we actually almost had happen back in 2012, which didn't really get any news until about 2 years later. The solar storm of 2012 that almost sent us back to the post-apocalyptic Stone Age, reports a couple news agencies. Apparently, we're at risk, 9 to 11% to 12% risk of having a big Carrington event solar flare burst out of the sun, which would essentially just erase and cripple most electronic devices. So astronomers are keeping an eye on the biggest solar flare in nearly a quarter century. Just a few weeks ago, the Weather Channel here reports that a powerful solar flare disrupted communication systems. And if such a thing were to happen, it would be the biggest disaster that the planet had ever faced. Here's another article in the New York Daily News. Earth almost blasted back to the Stone Age by extreme solar storm in 2012. Trillions of dollars in damage. It would be something worse than the most horrific sci-fi fantasy. One reason why many people believe that it's good to have perhaps gold or silver on hand for a barter system, because guess what? Your credit card and debit card or your new Apple Pay system just isn't going to work. And we would be sent back to a barter system. Who knows if even cash would be accepted. And this is also one of the reasons why the FEMA camps have been built. Just a crazy conspiracy theory. But the government are basically paranoid conspiracy theorists with an unlimited budget. And so they have many FEMA camps prepared in the event of this type of a disaster, where they anticipate rounding up hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of people, to throw them into these makeshift prisons, because all society would basically collapse. If this happens, it could take months, probably at the minimum, to even begin to restore any sort of order in society. So Second Amendment advocates, preppers, of course, have been concerned about this type of an event happening for some time now. And leaking into the mainstream news, the Trojan horse Russian bug that lurks in the computers. It could very well just be Stuxnet. Really, just Stuxnet went rogue, infecting computers around the world, but they're just blaming Russians. Could very well be an excuse to clamp down on more cybersecurity, as they're attempting to eliminate all anonymity on the web, as cyberspace continues to be regulated, as the United States is now turning over the regulatory body, ICANN, over to the United Nations. Yes, that's right. The what is it? The Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers now being turned over to the United Nations, even though the United States basically built the internet. It was ARPANET, created by the Defense Department, which then sort of got out into the public, and is the rest is history, as you know. But there you have it, the possibility of a digital doomsday from this apparent worm that has infected most of America's infrastructure. But perhaps more pressing is the very real threat of a solar flare. And we're in a very strange solar cycle that will continue for, I think, the next year or so. Reports vary between a 9 and I think it's 11, maybe 12% chance that we will have a Carrington type of event knocking us back to the Stone Age, which may actually be the only thing that saves humanity. Because if the solar flare doesn't hit, the transhumanists may achieve their dream of creating their Luciferian artificially intelligent god, their AI entity, which, as Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla electronic motor company and SpaceX, says, is like summoning a demon. And, of course, Stephen Hawking, the Nobel Prize winning scientist, also says that it may be the biggest mistake in the history of the human race. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new. Check out some of the previous videos and the playlists. Stay tuned. There are more videos coming soon.